the king and queen of Bulgaria.
You're not a king, Jesse. 5 words, Connecticut accent, running mascara, viral in under 12 hours. You know the clip. Everybody knows the clip. What you might not know is that the man she was yelling at, Jesse Meester, Amsterdam's most litigious life coach, built a 6-year media career on being the man Darcey Silva yelled that at, and he is not alone. This is Darcey Silva, and the received wisdom is that she is the problem. The received wisdom is downstream of the men who profited from her being the problem.
I feel like there's going to be so many sparks because Georgi and I have an amazing connection, and I deserve love. But I don't know a whole lot about his world just yet.
Here's the Reddit consensus, and it's been remarkably stable since 2019. Darcey has Darcey derangement syndrome. She can't accept reality. She keeps rebranding the same doomed relationship, one Eastern European fiancé at a time, and her twin sister Stacey is just a clone version of the same problem. She cries. She relapses. She's the franchise's favorite meltdown. The men aren't really villains. They're just the ones who...
On the other, Tom Brooks, the debonair Brit, whose suave exterior crumbled under the pressure of Darcey's emotional demands, ending in a now infamous question about her weight.
That read is almost right. Because yes, Darcey is a mess. Yes, she is running on a loop. Yes, her emotional range on camera is roughly 3 notes, and one of them is crying in a bathroom. But here's what the consensus misses. Every single one of her exes, Jesse, Tom, Georgi, arrived at the same conclusion about her. And every single one of them volunteered for the next season. Jesse went to war with Tom over her. Tom reconciled with Jesse specifically to trash her together. Georgi married her in 2023, knowing every episode of it, and is now, as of the October 2025 tell-all, on his way out, but not before a 2-year spinoff.
Imagine texts discussing their social media engagement numbers, strategizing.
Darcey isn't a woman these men keep getting trapped with. Darcey is a job site. She is the location where European men go to increase their Instagram followings, launch their coaching practices, and get their faces onto American cable television. The hours are long, the benefits are visibility, the exit package is a podcast invite and a press tour. And critically, the job site is union. Every former employee protects the next one's payouts.
My twin sister Stacey wants to meet Tom in person to make sure that he's the right man for me.
Let's take it from the top. 2017, before the 90 days, season 1. Darcey is 43, twin sister Stacey at her side, and she meets Jesse Meester, a 24-year-old Dutch model / life coach, 2 jobs that are the same job. Jesse immediately starts doing that thing where he calls himself a high-value individual on camera, with no irony. In the year 2017, before the manosphere was even a Reddit subforum, he is frankly an early prototype. Amsterdam energy, Andrew Tate adjacent vocabulary, approximately 1 full decade before that would become a marketing category. Darcey flies to Amsterdam. Jesse meets her in a suit. He lectures her about her diet. He lectures her about her twin sister. He lectures her, in the most mortifying beat of the entire franchise, about her posture.
I feel a connection with, being open with me and trusting in me and trusting in each other.
At the end of that season, Darcey has the on-camera meltdown that produces the "you're not a king" moment. That clip makes Jesse famous. That clip makes Darcey famous. Both of their Instagrams explode. Neither of them walks away. Jesse goes on to shoot an entire content calendar off that single phrase. His bio says life coach for a decade because of a Connecticut twin he cried on a ski lift with for 6 episodes. Hand to God. Jesse Meester, Amsterdam-based, charging coaching fees in 2025, off the residual brand equity of being humiliated by Darcey Silva in 2017. That is not a man who lost.
I might go home without a proposal and even a relationship.
And here's the thing about the Jessie arc that gets memory hold in every recap. Jessie did not leave Darcey. Jessie kept coming back. Season after season, podcast after podcast. Every time Darcey was in a new relationship, Jessie Meester would surface. Every time Darcey announced an engagement, Jessie would do an interview. He was not over it, because being over it would be bad for business.
I love you, my king. Go bitch.
Then comes Tom Brooks. Season 3, British, charming, immediately starts telling Darcey at dinners, on camera, at a reunion, that she needs to lose weight. Pulls out his phone, reads her his own text messages back to her. This is a man reading the text he sent her aloud to her face on television for the free publicity. Darcey cries. Tom gets famous. Tom gets his own Instagram grid out of it. Tom goes on press runs for 2 years as the guy who roasted Darcey Silva on TV. That's the job he now has. That's the career.
I feel like a weight's been lifted off of me. It reminds me when we first met.
And this is the part nobody talks about, Tom and Jessie, who had been internet feuding for months, who had been challenging each other to charity boxing matches, reconcile. They publicly bury the hatchet. They do joint interviews. And the reason they reconcile is specifically, explicitly on the record to team up against Darcey. Their stated position is that Darcey had manipulated them against each other. 2 grown men, one Dutch, one British, neither of whom had met the other without Darcey as the connective tissue, formed an alliance to trash talk Darcey Silva for content together.
You look good.
I love you.
If a woman had done that, we would call it a conspiracy. When 2 men do it about a woman, we call it closure. The double standard here is not subtle. These 2 built a joint press tour off hating Darcey, and the fandom applauded them for finding common ground. Meanwhile, Darcey is in Connecticut crying on camera about a closing line. The optics of the whole thing were that the European men had bonded over escaping her. The reality of the whole thing was that the European men had bonded over the fact that neither of their careers would exist without her.
I trust you.
You should.
And the charity boxing match. I cannot get over the charity boxing match. Tom Brooks and Jessie Meester, 2 grown men, literally scheduled a physical fight in a ring for a paying audience over a Connecticut twin. The announcement was on YouTube. The ticket sales were real. The framing was, we are resolving our differences over Darcey through combat. 2 years later, the fight never happened because they'd already extracted the full marketing value of announcing it. The announcement was the pay-per-view.
Right person, but it's okay. It's okay to be alone, loving yourself and, raising the bar for who you are as a person. And I know I deserve love. I feel like when the time is right, they'll come to me.
However,
Which brings us to Georgi, Bulgarian, massage therapist by trade, married Darcey in November 2023 after a multi-season engagement that the franchise wrung approximately 40 hours of content out of. And then, in October 2025, on Happily Ever After Season 9, Darcey tells her twin sister Stacey on camera in a confessional that the marriage is broken, that you can only patch the cracks so many times. Georgi's been in the franchise ecosystem for 4 full years by that point. He entered with no following, a massage license, and a Bulgarian passport. He will exit with a recognizable face, a reality TV credit, a brand partnership pipeline, and an alimony case the franchise will pay him to film. The Darcey job site paid him out in full, and it paid him on the way in, on the way through, and on the way out.
So if you cut it like on the bias, it stays juicy. I'm just helping you. We're doing this together, right? So if you cut it on a bias that is slant, it saves the juice. I've worked in restaurants, so okay.
I'm done.
And you can see it on his face now. He's ready. Every Georgi confessional since the wedding has been calibrated to begin the separation branding cycle. He doesn't need to be in the relationship anymore. He needs to be exiting the relationship. Because the exit is the new arc. The exit is the spin-off. Georgi is not worried about his marriage ending. Georgi is worried about his marriage ending before he has the
ring is so beautiful.
Here's the zoom out. Every Darcey relationship looks insane from the outside because the standard frame is two people trying to date. That is not what is happening on Darcey's show. What is happening on Darcey's show is one woman generating attention and a series of men arriving to monetize it. The reason the arcs look repetitive is because they are repetitive. It is the same transaction with a different European.
We ended up deciding to go to Albany instead and meet up with my twin sister Stacey and her fiance Florian because we wanted to meet each other's guys for the first time.
And the twin thing, the Darcey and Stacey launched a swimwear line thing, the House of 11 thing, the matching faces and matching fiancés thing is not coincidence. It is a brand operating at full capacity. Stacey married Florian Sukaj, an Albanian man, in a parallel franchise arc. Same template. Younger foreign man, parallel engagement timeline, parallel filming schedule, same Connecticut house, same production team. They were marketed as a unit. The twins aren't two women in love. The twins are a production company, and the production company sells swimwear, makeup, lifestyle content, and this is the crucial revenue stream, the ongoing drama of their romantic lives.
I'm carrying all the emotional weight in our scenes.
Darcey has had visible cosmetic work done across her 8-year franchise run to the point where before and after compilations regularly go viral. The fandom frames this as delusion. Darcey can't age, Darcey is trying to stay desirable, Darcey keeps chasing the thing that made Jesse want her. Wrong read. Darcey is maintaining a product. The swimwear line needs a face. The Instagram needs a face. Happily Ever After needs a face. The face has to photograph well under cable lighting. The surgeries are not a cry for help. They're a line item in an LLC's operating budget.
This is my sister, my twin sister Stacey, and her husband Florian.
Here is the structural point the Reddit consensus cannot quite bring itself to make. A woman who has been publicly humiliated by 3 European men on cable television over the course of 8 years, who has had her weight mocked on camera by one, her posture lectured by another, her marriage described as broken by a third, a woman this systematically degraded by the franchise she works for, who is still working at that franchise, is not a deluded romantic. She is a professional. She has a performance contract. The performance is grief. She hits the mark every time.
For years, Darcey Silva has masterfully controlled her narrative.
And Darcey knows what you think of her. She has read the subreddit. She has seen the memes. She has watched the edits of her face juxtaposed across 8 years. She is not on the outside of this discourse unaware. She is inside it. She is watching in real time. And she keeps signing the next contract. That is not derangement. That is stamina. You try being publicly mocked by a fandom of several million people every week for 8 consecutive years, and see if you can still get up in the morning to film a scene where your Bulgarian husband is about to leave you. Most people can't do a week of that. Darcey has done it for a decade.
Controlled for years is about to be challenged in the most public and brutal way imaginable.
Now the walk back. Darcey is, under all the ring lights and ring lights worth of work, a person. She's a mom. She has 2 teenage daughters. She built a business. She's been working in reality television for almost a decade, with the consistency most career professionals in any industry never achieve. The crying on camera thing is not evidence of derangement. It's evidence of a woman who correctly identified that the franchise pays for tears the same way it pays for tan lines, and she delivered the tears reliably, on cue, in focus. That's not weakness, that's tradecraft. Some of the best character actresses in the history of American film cannot cry on demand for a camera with a red light on it. Darcey does it in a bathrobe at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, and the camera operators know the marks.
You know I love you. You know I love you.
And she does, presumably, actually feel these emotions. That is not the question. The question is whether feeling them and selling them is the same skill. And with Darcey, increasingly, it is. Jessie made her cry for the first time on camera in 2017. She has not stopped crying on camera since. The tears are now muscle memory. The tears are now the job. Whether Georgi leaving actually hurts or not is almost beside the point. The tears are coming either way, because the tears are the deliverable, and Darcey is the only employer who has ever reliably delivered them to TLC for 8 straight years. The Reddit take is that Darcey is the punchline. The actual structure is that Darcey is the stage, and every European man who's walked on her has left with a bag of branded merchandise and an exit interview on Entertainment Tonight. Jesse Meester didn't lose Darcey. Jesse Meester got paid. Tom Brooks didn't escape Darcey. Tom Brooks graduated. And Georgi Rusev, right now, in Connecticut, packing a bag. He's not a victim either. He's an alumnus. Darcey Silva is the only woman on television whose ex-fiancés keep reconciling with each other. Not to make peace, to split the residuals. On a Connecticut twin they only met once. And every one of those men knows, deep in his Amsterdam coaching, London influencer, Sophia massage therapist bones, that the Connecticut twin was the best career move he ever made. Darcey was never the problem. Darcey was never the problem, so far as fully played. And the men who keep telling you she was the problem are the men who are still, in 2025, living off what she built, renting apartments in Amsterdam, recording podcasts in London, booking massage clients in Sofia, all on royalties from a brand a Connecticut blonde invented while they weren't paying attention. If you made it this far, you either love me or you're looking for something to yell about in the comments. Either way, like, subscribe, and tell your sister.